the results of our government's investments in Durham Region. General Motors, just down the street, has been reignited with the new car and truck lines, manufacturing new hybrid and electric vehicles for the future. We have secured major partnerships with OPG, GE, Hitachi, and Aecon to secure the construction of the small nuclear reactor at the Darlington Nuclear Generating Station. This will deliver clean, safe, and reliable energy. And we are now continuing to make new investments in regional public transit all across Ontario, and that is why we are in Durham today. Under the leadership of Premier Doug Ford and Minister Mulroney, Ontario has championed the importance of having a thriving public transit system, one that is not only efficient and reliable, but also eco and climate friendly. And so to share more details about today's announcement, I am proud to welcome our Minister of Transportation, the Honourable Caroline Mulroney. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd, for that kind introduction. It's great to be here today in Oshawa alongside Premier Ford, Ministers Smith and Bethenfalvy, Phil Verster, MPPs McCarthy, Coe and Barnes, Deputy Mayor Bob Chapman, and Chair John Henry. I want to start off by saying thank you to Premier Ford for being a true champion for transportation in Ontario. It's under his leadership that we're delivering important projects like two-way, all-day GO that will service communities right here in Oshawa and along the Lakeshore East Line all the way to Bowmanville. But our government understands that it's not enough to just build. If we can build a transportation network that is cleaner and greener, we can go a long way to meeting our provincial commitment to reduce emissions by 30% by 2030. And we've been taking significant steps to secure this better future for Ontario by leveraging more zero-emissions technology across our transportation network. We know that the first step to increasing the uptake of electric vehicles is ensuring that the necessary infrastructure is in place to support them. And this work is already well underway. Together with my colleague, the Minister of Energy, we've partnered with the IV Charging Network and EnRoute to install chargers along Ontario's busiest highways, including Highways 400 and 401. So EV owners can travel the province with more freedom and confidence. As of May, 69 IV Charging Network chargers have opened at 20 out of 23 EnRoute locations, with more planned at the remaining 3 locations. Last year, I was also proud to announce an investment of $91 million to support the installation of public EV chargers across the province. But that's not all our government is doing to support cleaner, greener transit options. We're collaborating with our federal partners to help municipalities like Oakville and St. Thomas transition to zero-emissions bus technology, delivering the largest expansion of public transit in Canadian history, including the Ontario Line, which will feature fully electric trains, advancing GO expansion, where we're converting trains from diesel to electric-powered. And just recently, we've secured the single largest electric vehicle-related investment in Canadian history with Volkswagen. Zero-emission technology is the way of the future, and our government is at the forefront of this revolution every step of the way. Under the leadership of Premier Ford, we're creating the conditions for a strong economy, good-paying jobs, and cleaner air now and into the future. And today's exciting announcement will only continue to build on this great work. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. And now I'll turn it over to Premier Ford.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Minister Mulroney, for that introduction, and thank you for the great work you do every single day. It's always great to be back here in Oshawa. As Minister Mulroney said, my champion Transportation Minister with Minister Mulroney, Minister of Energy, Minister Smith, and the gentleman that controls all the money in this province, our great Finance Minister, Minister Bethenfalvy. And it's great to see our local champions, MPP Coe, MPP McCarthy, and MPP Barnes. And folks, before I get started, I just want to recognize these 3 MPPs alongside with Minister Bethenfalvy. I call them the Durham Four. They were so instrumental in just over a year ago in getting rid of the tolls on highways 412 and 418. These tolls were unfair and they were expensive and caused gridlock on our local roads. The previous government should have never imposed them in the first place. But thanks to these MPPs, they're gone, they're done, they no longer exist. So thank you to the Durham Four for making sure we get that done. So I want to thank them for their advocacy and for all their hard work for the people of Durham. Thank you. I also want to welcome Deputy Mayor Bob Chapman. You're doing a great job, Bob. And another champion is Durham Regional Chair John Henry. And a big thank you to Phil Verster and everyone at Metrolinx for hosting us today. I always say I want to thank the frontline women and men that work here. This wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for our champions over there, so thank you. Metrolinx are great partners, especially here in Durham, as we work together to bring two-way, all-day GO service to the region, from Union Station all the way to Bowmanville. Friends, our government has a plan to be a global leader in the electric vehicle revolution. We're building an electric vehicle and battery supply chain, connecting critical minerals in Northern Ontario and clean steel makers in Hamilton and Sault Ste. Marie to automakers and battery manufacturers across Ontario. We're creating the conditions to attract new investments into the sector. And in the past 2.5 years alone, our province has secured over $25 billion in new investments for vehicle and battery production from the 6 largest automakers in the world. This includes GM's major investment in their Oshawa and Ingersoll plants to manufacture the company's next generation models. We're also helping to get more electric vehicles on the road, investing in public charging infrastructure, including $91 million to support the installation of more EV chargers at highway rest stops, carpool parking lots, Ontario parks, and in community hubs like hockey arenas and municipal parks. And we're boosting our province's supply of clean, affordable energy to keep pace with the rapid electrification of vehicles. And today, we're so pleased to announce the launch of 2 new fully electric GO buses. Starting next week, commuters on select GO bus routes, including right here in Oshawa, will have the opportunity to travel on these zero-emission vehicles. Once on board, commuters will experience a quieter ride and have access to USB chargers as well as seatbelts. These new buses are part of our plan to support the growth of electric vehicles and expand clean transit options across the province. And friends, this is just the beginning. Over the next 10 years, our government is investing over $70 billion in the largest transit expansion in Canadian history. We're building fast and reliable rail options from Niagara in the west to Bowmanville in the east and to Timmins and Cochrane in the north. We're building new subways, including the Ontario Line, Scarborough Subway Extension, Yonge North Subway Extension, and the Eglinton West Line. And we're going to continue working with our partners, including Metrolinx, to expand clean and green transportation right across our province. Because, friends, the future is electric, and we're going to lead the charge. Thank you for joining us today, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
Hi, Premier. I'm not sure the mic is working. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
How you doing? I wanted to ask you just, and maybe someone else has the details on this, but
Sure.
Can someone explain just the cost of one of these electric buses compared to a conventional bus and the economics of rolling that out for the whole fleet eventually, I presume, and I assume they're cheaper to run,
Yep.
but how much does it cost?
Great question. I'm going to hand it over to either the minister or Phil.
Yeah, thank you for that question. These buses typically price around double the price of a diesel bus. So diesel buses go around $700,000 a bus. This is about $1.5 million. But the real issue is the life cycle cost, because the operating cost is about 1/3 of what that is for a diesel bus. If you think of an electric bus, they're not moving parts such as gearboxes and axles and stuff like that, or engines and the like. So the real focus for us, though, is to figure out whether, there's a lot of urban buses that are EV buses that operate shorter routes. Our routes are sometimes up to 650 kilometers long, and it's really to get the right technology into the bus itself, which will affect the price, because battery technology drives the price of these buses. And this is why we're trialing the 2 buses to see what's the maximum range we can get. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. And to the Premier, yes. As you're well aware, there's been a lot of talk and confusion and discussion about the Greenbelt decision. I wanted to ask just a question to clarify some of the information that's out there that people have been seizing on. So
sure.
The question goes like this. When did you decide to tell the province's bureaucrats to start looking at the Greenbelt as a solution to the housing problem? And when you did that, did you provide any specific areas of land for them to look at?
Well, I didn't ask them to look at any specific land, but when it started, when we saw a housing crisis, and let's just be honest with everyone here, the Greenbelt was a failed policy, a flawed policy from the Liberal government, and it was pretty clear they made the policy, and then they decided to change it 17 times. I'm a strong believer in making sure, be it wetlands, marshes, ponds, no one can build on those. We've added 2,000 more acres to the Greenbelt. But what we believe in, if there's an existing community and across the street, the same piece of property, we need to build homes. There's 450,000 people that landed in Ontario last year, the fastest growing region by far in North America. These people need homes, they need attainable homes, nonprofit homes, and we're going to continue to build. As our economy grows, and the reason there's 450,000 people, our economy is strong. It's one of the strongest in North America, and as you see, more jobs are coming here. Over 650,000 more people are employed today than when we took office 4.5 or 5 years ago. So we're going to continue building homes, 1.5 million homes, and affordable homes as well.
Would you rule out the Greenbelt, more Greenbelt?
Again, we're going to continue building homes, but where we aren't going to build on ponds, wetlands, and marshes. But do you know what's great too? And I'm going to ask Minister Bethlenfalvy to talk about it, about our environmental record. And I always believe, I've said it 100 times, it's not either or, it's and. We can grow the economy, we can build homes, and be environmentally friendly, and that's what our government's doing. But what a great other announcement about parks. We just announced an urban park, 1,300 acres in Uxbridge, right in Minister Bethlenfalvy's backyard. So why don't we have him come up and talk a little bit about this great urban park.
Well, thank you, Premier, and I couldn't agree with you more. We have a housing crisis, and we've got to get homes built. Otherwise, we're going to have a bigger problem, so our government's taking action. But as you just said, Premier, it's not either or, it's and that's why we're so proud to have announced the first provincial urban park just close by here in Uxbridge, where the province is putting in some land, private donors are putting in land, and now we're working with the Toronto Regional Conservation Authority, the Nature Conservancy of Canada, who are big supporters, the Township of Uxbridge, to add even more land so we can get a much larger provincial park that people can enjoy right here in Durham. And I think it's a great, it's part of our strategy to, as the Premier says, not just either or, but we can do all these things. We can build homes, we can build hospitals, transit here in Durham, and we can get things done and provide tremendous entertainment and environmentally friendly activities for people right here in Durham. Thanks very much.
Sir? Oh. Well, I hope she's doing all right, and we'll check on her after this.
Hi, Premier Ford.
Hi.
I'm going to break the silence and ask you a question.
Sure.
I also hope she's doing fine.
Yeah.
As you know, candidate nominations for Toronto's by-election for mayor close today. We're wondering if you've been following the race, and could you describe what type of mayor would be a good partner for the provincial government?
Well, first of all, you know, I can work with any mayor. I think I showed over the last 4 years. I don't care about their political stripe, as long as they believe in building homes, as long as they believe, especially in Toronto, crime. You know, everyone's out there doing polls here or there, and you get to see the odd one. And I remember crime used to be number 8, now it's number 1. So we need someone that has experience dealing with crime. I believe we need someone that has actually run an operation with a number of employees that has the experience. We need someone in Toronto that knows all of Toronto, not a little ward that they've been representing, but all of Toronto. So whoever that might be, I'll work with them. And they have to be, obviously, they have to be fiscally responsible. And to be very frank, I haven't seen fiscal responsibility since my brother Rob was mayor.
And my follow-up is actually for Minister Mulroney.
Yes.
Merci. Bonjour, Madame Mulroney. Ma question est en français. Comme vous le savez peut-être, il y a une pénurie d'enseignants francophones dans la province. On se demandait quelle est votre solution ou quelles sont vos solutions pour essayer de répondre à cette pénurie de personnel dans les écoles?
Eh bien, il y a bien sûr une pénurie d'enseignants francophones ici en Ontario, à travers le Canada et aussi à travers le monde, malheureusement. Mais c'est une bonne chose pour le français. Ça veut dire qu'il y a de plus en plus de personnes qui veulent apprendre en français. Donc, on a besoin d'avoir les enseignants pour ces étudiants. Alors, notre approche, on a deux approches. Une, c'est de former des enseignants ici en Ontario. Nous avons plusieurs programmes à travers le ministère de l'Éducation et aussi le ministère des collèges et universités pour former de plus en plus d'enseignants. Et de plus, on a une politique d'immigration. On veut attirer des francophones en Ontario qui sont déjà prêts à enseigner. Et je sais que le gouvernement fédéral est en train d'élaborer un plan pour toutes les provinces pour pouvoir profiter d'un corridor d'immigration. Et bien sûr, l'Ontario appuie cette décision et cette politique. Merci.
Okay. This will be the last question.
Sorry about that, Mr. Premier. Mr. Premier,
Hi,
I've been on the, it's Jamie with City TV. I've been on the candidates for the mayor of Toronto. There's one common theme that is constantly through that all the mayors are asking and saying that Ontario needs to give the cities more money.
I'm sorry, Jamie. It's hard to hear you today.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah. The one common theme on the mayor's candidates have is that Ontario has to give Toronto more money, whether it's in housing, uploading of the Gardner, a lot of ranging ideas. But and I'll go back to even if the Toronto audits itself or you audit the Toronto, cutting 10% still isn't going to cover the huge shortfall that there is for the city of Toronto.
Yeah.
Can these mayors expect anything from the province?
Well, thanks for that, Jamie. And these are pretty staggering figures. We contributed over $3.2 billion on all aspects, no matter if it's housing or through the pandemic, transportation as well. We've supported them. But they have to be fiscally responsible. You know, that's what it comes down to. There's a tremendous amount of waste down there. I hear about it constantly. They have to look at lean methodologies like we're doing at the province, and they have to be living within their means. So we're always there to help them. To answer your question about the Gardner, we aren't uploading the Gardner. They just want to throw their burden onto us. They're responsible for it, and they have to fix it. When I was down there, we had a plan to repair it. I think it was $500 million over a 10-year period. That's $50 million a year. But you just can't be spending taxpayers' money willy-nilly and then going hat in hand. Jamie, you were down there at City Hall with me. We never once went to the province hat in hand. I have no problem helping all cities as long as they're being fiscally responsible. We are doing an audit of the city of Toronto. I'd really like to do a forensic audit, but we're doing an audit here and there. And what they have to do is create more opportunities, more businesses, build more houses, because that will generate a higher tax revenue. And that's what we need to do. You can't just keep spending and spending taxpayers' money. It's unacceptable.
This is a different question. Thank you for that answer.
Sure.
A different question is, and it's concerning. There was another mosque attack on Wednesday where a 65-year-old gentleman was injured. First of all, I know you have thoughts that you would want to express, but also, what can we do to prevent this from happening? This is one of a series of mosques and a growing trend.
Well, we have zero tolerance for any discrimination, not to just mention Islamophobia. It just has no place here in Ontario. People that want to discriminate, I have a recommendation. Get the heck out of the province. I don't want you here. We live in such an inclusive province, and that's what attracts people from around the world, that they know they're going to come here. They aren't going to be discriminated against. We work and live side by side, and it just will not be tolerated here.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Hold on 1 second. I have a new theme song here. Okay? There you go. There you go. That's the new theme song for Ontario Electric Avenue, and we're going to build it right across our province. And I won't quit my day job to be a dancer, that's for sure. Okay, thanks everyone.
Black Diamond Combo. Just open and enjoy. Black Diamond Combo, a nutritious snack.
So, anyone who's been paying attention for the last few months has been seeing headlines like this, especially in education. The thesis has been students are going to be using ChatGPT and other forms of AI to cheat, do their assignments.